Hi, everybody. This is Tommy Lasorda. Listen to The Sandlot, the best thing that could happen to you.
The one constant through all the years, Ray, has been baseball.
Are you crying?
It's a part of our past, Ray.
There's no crying.
It reminds us of all that once was good.
There's no crying in baseball.
Just a bit outside.
Baseball will be very, very good to me.
It's a simple game. You throw the ball, you hit the ball, you catch the ball.
Personally, I think we got hosed on that.
The Sandlot Radio Network is on the air. And now, starting pitcher for the Sandlot, former pro player and Major League scout, Ted Powers.
This is National League All-Star Justin Upton.
Hi, this is Shane Victorino.
Hi, this is Albert Pujols.
Hi, this is David Wright.
It's Derek Jeter of the New York Yankees, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
Welcome to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. It's a place of our own, it's our field, it's our neighborhood, it's our team, it's our home. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera and sponsored by the Sandlot Radio Network, Grit Sports Collective, Guzman y Gomez, and by Freestyle Pool Sydney. You can tune into The Sandlot every weekend on Sirius XM Radio MLB Network podcast platform and on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Pandora, Apple Music, and Simplecast. Last week's Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast, we had one of only 10 Australian position players to ever get to the big leagues. We had Trent Durrington. Trent played in the first ever World Baseball Classic for Team Australia. And this week we have his son, Max, who is the youngest player on this year's World Baseball Classic roster for Australia, the first father and son to represent Australia in the WBC. We also have our Sandlot Radio Network resident baseball fanatic and producer Nick Wright to give us a rundown on what to expect in the 2026 season. And our Sandlot Champion Character of the Week from the Giants Baseball Club, Archie Sampson. We're going to start you off with what's going on in spring training around MLB. Nick, spring training's underway. Major League Baseball. Opening day just around the corner. What's going on?
Tad, we are inching closer and closer to the MLB season. This offseason feels like it went by in a flash. You know, there's just a couple things happening before the World Baseball Classic, which we all can't wait for. But let's go into the MLB offseason. The San Diego Padres made some interesting moves trying to keep up with the Dodgers. Nick Castellanos left the Philadelphia Phillies for the Padres, as did Walker Buehler, as did Griffin Canning, pitcher. I know him well from the Angels. And also German Marquez, right-handed pitcher. Tad, do you think the San Diego Padres loaded up enough to maybe compete with the Dodgers?
I watched the Padres a lot last year. As good of a team as they were, there was times where they just played really bad baseball. So maybe these elements that they picked up in the offseason can help rectify that. But I watched enough of them to see that they were a sloppy baseball team, and you're not going to be a sloppy baseball team and beat the Dodgers. So hopefully these moves will make them more competitive. But the Dodgers just look so good going into this season.
Yeah, they also signed their GM, A.J. Preller, for a little extension there. You know, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, they're trying their best here. I have a lot of Padres friends. It's kind of like a what can you do thing. They're flinging stuff at the wall, hope it sticks, to maybe get some competition out there in that division. We'll see. Ted, also, I want to go to, what's interesting? I was looking at some, AI is the new thing here, so I wanted to give it a little run. And looking at the best MLB offseason, it's kind of interesting. Of course, we got the Dodgers, who added Kyle Tucker and arguably the best closer, Edwin Diaz. But also, what AI said, who also had a great MLB offseason, is the Baltimore Orioles. I was thinking they could be kind of sneaky by stealing Pete Alonso from the Mets. They also signed closer Ryan Helsley, who's the top closer in the league, and Chris Bassett, starting pitcher. Do you think the Baltimore Orioles could possibly be sneaky?
Yeah, last year they underperformed. Their pitching wasn't that great, but they have the type of team, young enough, exciting enough, great offense. They can run. They can play good D. The pitching was the element. I think they might have rectified that a little bit, but to get Alonso over there as well, who knows what he's going to do in that ballpark.
And also, I mean, the I want to go to the World Series runner-up, the Toronto Blue Jays. They signed Dylan Cease to a 7-year, $210 million deal. Big deal for a good starting pitcher. And also Kazuma Okamoto as well. You think that's going to be a good Band-Aid from losing Bo Bichette? You think the Toronto Blue Jays are still going to be one of the top teams in the AL next year?
I really do. Bo was a very key element in their success through the playoffs and into the World Series, but they needed pitching more, and they went and got it. And Dylan Cease can be, at times, unhittable. He's had flashes of brilliance where when he takes the mound and he's got his good stuff, hitters are going to have a hard day.
And also, I want to go to your Chicago Cubs. They had a great offseason, too. They signed Alex Bregman. And they also got Edward Cabrera. Bregman signed a 5-year, $175 million deal and some rotation upside with Cabrera. Tad, do you think your Cubbies are going to be better than last year or maybe contend?
I think they're going to be really good, and they were good last year. But Bregman, I'd like Wrigley Field for Bregman. I think that he's going to hit very well there. And getting another top-level starting pitcher for the Cubs was another key move. So, yeah, I think they're going to be very competitive. Let's see what kind of season Pete Crow Armstrong has this year, because he was up and down last year, and he kind of finished on a low note. He didn't play that well during the playoffs, and he kind of showed his butt a little bit during the playoffs. So let's see if he can turn that around. Playing for the USA and in the World Baseball Classic is a big deal, but then he's got to come back and turn it up for the Cubs.
Yeah, I really can't wait to see him, how he plays, because I'm sure he's going to be amped up for the World Baseball Classic. We saw his emotions in the playoffs. I think that's going to carry on into the World Baseball Classic. I want to see how he bounces back from that playoff. And also, just to go back to the NL West, Ted, kind of an interesting deal, too, is that Zach Gallen returned with the Arizona Diamondbacks on a 1-year, $22 million deal. Again, kind of just piecing things together. I don't know why I'm asking, but do you think the Arizona Diamondbacks signing Gallen can do anything, or, is that just like another free agent off the board that maybe could have gone somewhere better but wanted to be with Arizona?
I think it's great that he's staying there for the Diamondbacks because he is one of the top right-handed starting pitchers in the National League. And as long as he's healthy, he gives them quality innings almost every time out.
Also, it's interesting. I want to go back to the Toronto Blue Jays. Just a couple hours ago, there's more talks amping up with old man Max Scherzer coming back to Toronto Blue Jays. Tad, do you think Mad Max still has some left in the tank to go to Toronto, maybe make another push next year?
Absolutely. He's a guy that he's a bulldog, and he goes out there to get hitters out and dominate hitters. Even when he doesn't have his good stuff, he's a good pitcher. If he can stay healthy for a whole year, he's really going to help Toronto. And another thing I wanted to mention, there's been 3 hammock bone injuries, and I think it's because when these guys are down there on the very end of that bat and that bone is hitting the knob, that you take that many swings and it's at some point it's going to break. And we've had Lindor, Jackson Holiday, and Corbin Carroll. And so Corbin's not going to play for Team USA and in the World Baseball Classic, and Lindor's not going to play for the Dominican. So that hurts those 2 countries, but it also hurts those 2 teams. And they'll probably be back at the start of the season, but it's an injury that can linger a little bit too, and then you're vulnerable to do it again.
And Ted, I want to go back to New York. Aaron Judge has some interesting comments where the Yankees were pretty inactive, to say the least. They resigned some of their guys, but we're looking like the same kind of roster, but we're coming back with Garrett Cole. But Aaron Judge did, pretty much publicly show his displeasure of more of the inactivity of the Yankees front office. Ted, do you expect the Yankees with Garrett Cole coming back to maybe compete for a World Series / try to take over Toronto in that AL East?
Well, they didn't have him last year, and if they've got him this year and then he's the Garrett Cole of old and he can pitch the way that we know that he can, that is a huge deal for the Yankees. And it puts a lot of pressure on him because they're counting on him to be the guy that he has been in the past, and they didn't go out and get anything to support the rest of the cast. So they're really counting on him having a big season. Otherwise, they're going to have to make some moves.
Even though they got spanked around a little bit against the Blue Jays in the playoffs, I really can't wait to see a healthy Garrett Cole well, I'm not sure about excited because I can't stand the Yankees, but I really can't wait to see how the Yankees are going to be with arguably the best pitcher coming back healthy. All right, Tad, the offseason is slowly coming to an end. We got spring training about to start around the corner. We got the World Baseball Classic around the corner. The stove is heating up.
I'm looking forward to opening day.
All right, Tad, and let's get to our Sandlot Champ of the Week.
Right now, we have our Sandlot Radio Network Down Under Podcast Champion Character of the Week from the Giants Baseball Club, Archie Sampson. Archie, thanks so much for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Well, Archie, I've seen you play in a few baseball games, and every time I've seen you, you hit a ball over the outfielders' heads for extra bases. I saw you catch and throw really well behind the plate and being a catcher that led his team. I also got a chance to work with you in a pitching and catching camp where I saw you do a great job of leading by example and being a good mentor for the kids. And I just like the way I've seen you carry yourself on and off the field. I know you have talent and skills. Let's talk about the reasons that you play baseball. What age did you start playing and why?
I started playing around the age of 8. Because of my dad. He played when he was in his mid-30s and he just mentored me and I play to make him proud. I love the thrill of baseball, the challenge. I love overcoming because 7 out of the 10 times you fail, so the success just feels way better.
Yeah, and the thing about hitting, you have to understand that you're going to fail and you can't get too upset about it. Every at-bat is a learning experience, so you just go up there the next time and hope that you put it together and that's the time you get a hit. But sometimes we hit it hard and we don't get a hit, and other times maybe the pitcher beats us and we do get a hit. So it's a strange game in that sense, but it's just best to be prepared. And I've noticed that you work really hard and you go to a game and you're prepared to go out there and win, and that's what it's all about. Talk about the reasons. Archie, what's your favorite Major League Baseball team?
My favorite team is the Toronto Blue Jays.
As of this year?
Got unlucky this series.
Yeah.
Oh, since I started playing the game, really. That was the first team I ever watched, first team I've loved. So
Really? So how cool was it for you this year for them to get to the World Series? Could have been a really long time, and not in your lifetime had they gone. So it must have been a huge thrill for you this year when they got there.
Oh, it was exhilarating, but like devastating at the end. That game 7, man. Oh, that Miguel Rojas home run broke hearts.
You think about how well they had to play to get to the World Series and to be in a position to win like they were. And if a couple of really freaks plays don't happen, they do win the World Series. For instance, when those two outfielders collided in the outfield to catch that ball, they win the game with that. Also, the fact that Miggy, who never hits home runs, came up there and hit a home run.
Exactly.
So that was thrillful for you, but everybody in Canada was behind that team this year, and that's one thing that's cool about a team from Canada being in the World Series. It's not just the city of Toronto, it's the whole country that gets behind them. And then you got some Aussies cheering for them as well.
Yes.
So off that team, who's your favorite players?
George Springer is most likely my favorite player. Okay. The bounce back year he had, I love that. That was good to see. Bo Bichette is also up there, but he's gone now, sadly.
Well, Archie, you're a catcher. What about that Mr. Kirk guy? Because didn't he do
Oh, Alejandro Kirk. Oh, he is someone to admire. His receiving skills is just, they're incredible. The way he leads the offense, the defense. Yeah, he's a lovely captain.
Yeah, and he also led by making solid contact. He doesn't strike out. If you look at his numbers, he struck out less than 100 times, which is very rare for an MLB player now. And he hit for a high average because of it. So that's something to admire as well. So he's a really good player to follow. And you being a catcher, there's some good catchers out there for you to try to model yourself around. And you've got the toughness to play that position because you have to be a tough guy to catch.
Yes, of course. Not just physically, but mentally, of course, as well.
Yeah, you got to learn what is it that the pitcher needs you to do to keep him on his game? Every pitcher is a little different personality-wise, and they all have different stuff. And one thing we can't do is have too high expectations of the guys out there on the mound because they're young and we don't know if they can hit the spot that you're set up. We want them to, but it's, the odds are against it.
Yeah, I feel like the best catchers just have a good relationship with them, understand their stuff, how it moves, their tendencies, their out pitch, and their strike pitches. So, yeah, I feel like that makes a great catcher.
He's Archie Sampson. He's our Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast champion character of the week for a lot of reasons. Archie, I just want to thank you for being a guest on the Sandlot.
Thank you so much. I'll see you.
Thanks again to our resident baseball fanatic and producer Nick Wright for giving us rundown on MLB. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera. Don't go away when we return. We have a professional baseball player now on the WBC roster, Max Durrington.
This is Andrew Reynolds, voice of the Sydney Blue Sox, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
Hey, this is Brian Murphy from Sydney, Australia. Ex-professional baseball player, still living the dream of playing the game, watching the game, coaching the game, and watching the next generation come through. Thanks, Tad.
This spring, something beautiful is blooming in Carlsbad Village. Introducing Diego Austin Talavera, a new coastal shop celebrating handcrafted Mexican Talavera pottery, vibrant succulents, and curated gifts inspired by Baja and Southern California. From statement planners to one-of-a-kind home accents, every piece is chosen to bring color, culture, and sunshine into your space. Opening soon on Carlsbad Village Drive. Follow the journey and shop online at DiegoAustinTalavera.com. Diego Austin Talavera, where coastal California meets the art of Mexico.
GYG has just reinvented the Caesar with our new Caesar salad, Caesar burrito, and Caesar Cali burrito. And I bet you didn't know that Caesar was created in Tijuana, Mexico over 100 years ago by Caesar Cardini. And now we have made the Caesar uniquely GYG. Crunchy Cos lettuce, free-range grilled chicken, or gourmet Caesar dressing, shredded jack cheese, and GYG's corn chips crushed. GYG Caesar, created in Mexico, reinvented by GYG.
Do you want more than just wins for your kids? Do you want confidence, character, and grit? At Grit Sports Collective, we help young athletes play with purpose and train with passion. With elite coaching in baseball and basketball, we're building more than skills, we're building competitors. Because greatness starts with mindset and is earned through sweat. Grit Sports Collective. Play fierce, train harder. Now enrolling in San Diego, California. Visit gritsportscollective.com and sign up today. When it comes to building your dream pool, experience matters. For 33 years, Freestyle Pools Sydney has delivered quality pools that stand the test of time. Brothers Rob and Ben personally manage every job from start to finish, working closely with skilled, reliable tradies who take pride in their work. With regular industry award-winning builds, the quality of Freestyle Pools truly stands out. Experience, craftsmanship, and service you can trust. Freestyle Pools Sydney, built for life.
Hi, everybody. This is Rick Mundy, former Major League player, former All-Star, and now broadcaster with the Los Angeles Dodgers. You're tuned in exactly where you need to be. It's Sandlot, and it's baseball.
Talking baseball, the man and Bobby Fella, the Scooter, the Barber, and the Duke. They knew them all from Boston to Dubuque.
Especially Shohei, Mookie, and the Judge. Welcome back to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. It's presented by Diego Austin Talavera. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. Now we have Max Durrington. We're with professional baseball player Max Durrington on the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. Max, thanks for being a guest.
Thank you for having me on.
So we just had your dad, and you're over in Arizona right now because spring training has begun for minor league players. This is your second spring training, correct? Because you signed and have played a full season.
Yeah, no, this is my second spring training, so this will be my second full year. I went over the year before after I signed as well, just for instructs, just to get my feet wet a little bit before coming over for spring training, so it wasn't a huge culture shock. Which was nice of the A's to do, and yeah.
Well, you got to turn back the clock to when you were playing T-ball and Zuka and all the things that Aussies do when they're young. and why you chose baseball, because Aussies have a lot of opportunities to play other sports that are more popular, and I know you played a little rugby league. But let's talk about your involvement in baseball. From what age, and why did you develop such a huge passion for the game?
Yeah, so I started, I think Dad put me in T-ball when I was 6, and so I was playing at Madrabar Baseball Club, and I was playing a lot of other sports at the time. I think I was playing soccer as well, out of school, and then was playing baseball just like sort of like a summer sport, nothing serious, up until like 12, and then I made, you start doing tournaments and stuff like that for it in Little League, and that was a like cool sort of thing to do. And then I made the Australian team, the Under-12s World Cup, and that sort of helped me a little bit more to baseball on a international level, and it was something that I thought, potentially that I wanted to keep playing for a while. So I was playing baseball all the way through in the summertime, and then I stopped playing soccer when I was around 12. I gave that up, and then I started playing AFL for a little bit, and then moved away from AFL and started playing rugby and baseball. Around 15 was when I really started playing. Like, I started training a lot and going down to the field and getting Dad to go down a little bit with me and just work on hitting and stuff like that. But it was also just like, I don't know, like what sport I loved at the time was sort of seasonal, if that makes sense. Like when I was playing rugby, I was loving rugby more, and when I was playing baseball, I was loving baseball more. And then it was sort of around grade 11 for me where I was like, okay, I sort of want to, for a career, pursue that. And that's sort of when I started, look at college as a potential.
So your dad, unfortunately, you didn't get to see your dad play at the highest level like I did. And I started scouting when he signed. And he was one of those guys, when you scouted in Australia, got excited about, because there's 5 tools for position players that we evaluate. And he had a couple of them that were above average major league. And so that's what it takes to get signed by a pro club. And he had that running speed. And one of the biggest disappointments in all my years of scouting in Australia, you really like a kid, but then he's just not quite getting down to first quick enough. You can't run that 60 quite quick enough. And your dad could really run. And that tool really stood out. So when you went on the tour, tell me about your Arizona State thing, because that's one of the programs, even when I was a kid, you'd see them in the College World Series, and it was kind of the program that every kid wanted to go to.
Yeah, I feel like they've started to lose that a little bit. Like, obviously everyone wants to go to SEC schools now, just because of the exposure and the money sort of standpoint. But I don't know, ASU was just one of those cool spots where it was in more of like a real world environment for me, instead of like going to a little small little town, like college town. It just felt like it would get me more prepared for pro ball. And the coach there now, Willie Bloomquist, he's an ex-big leaguer, and just like it just had a real feel. And then obviously the weather too is pretty sunny all year round, so that helped, especially coming from the Gold Coast.
It's hard to compare Gold Coast weather to any place else, and if you ended up in the Midwest or some of the other places where some of the other Aussie kids land on their feet to play college baseball, the weather's not good.
Yeah, no, it's not. And even like some of these minor league town affiliates in Lansing, Michigan, which is like part of the Midwest League, I think it is, and that's pretty cold up there in spring.
Yeah, the first month or two of the season, it can be tough. And if you haven't ever played in cold weather, especially as a hitter, because, hitting is hard to do as it is, hitting the cold makes it even harder. So two people on the field have an advantage in cold, it's the pitcher and the catcher, because they're involved in every play, and they've actually got they're staying a little more warm than everyone else. So I learned as a pitcher, you're going to put up your best numbers in those cold weather months.
Yeah. Well, I think also a lot of Aussies, obviously everyone wants to play in the warm weather, and Aussies being a bit gritty and stuff like that. Like, we are willing to play in the cold if we have to, if that's what it takes to sort of pursue our dream, which a lot of guys are, I'm pretty sure, in in JUCO right now that would go places cold to play just to get overseas and start playing some college baseball.
Yeah, as long as you're in a uniform and you're playing at the college level, you have a chance because you're always going to get better. And if you keep playing the game, a lot of guys quit before they're about to really turn the corner. And to do it, you got to get through 4 years of college, a few years in the minor leagues, and that's when it all starts coming together, especially hitting. Because you found out, you're facing guys now that you've been in the Cal League, especially because that used to be an advanced A-ball league. Now they say it's a low A. But you've been in rookie ball, and you've been in A-ball, and you've been doing instructional leagues, so you've seen really good pitching. And everybody nowadays is throwing 95 and up. So it's not like you go out there and see somebody that's not good.
Yeah, no, that is another big difference in coming from Australia. But I feel like as long as you don't have a big swing, it's not too hard. Like bat to ball, you sort of just got to trust yourself. I found it pretty easy to adjust to. The velo wise, your eye kind of gets used to it, and I honestly find it easier hitting against harder pitching just because of the fact that there's less of a thinking involved. It's just sort of seeing and reacting. But yeah, no, the pitching is getting a lot better with velo and stuff like that. And but honestly, I kind of like it, and it's making the game more exciting.
Yeah, the difference is the pace that everything happens at. And if you watch a big league game as opposed to a minor league game and as opposed to a college game, everybody's doing the same movements. They're just not doing it as fast or as explosive. And you have some of those qualities already that other kids are still trying to develop and may not ever have.
Yeah.
You're in spring training, but you're about to go meet the Australian national team for the World Baseball Classic. And the cool story about that is that your dad played in the World Baseball Classic, and you're about to do the same thing at the ripe old age of 19. And happy birthday, by the way. I know you just turned 19. And
yeah, thank you.
That's a young age to represent a country in a world tournament such as the World Baseball Classic, which to me is as good as it gets because every team puts their best team out there, and some of the countries are stacked.
Really, I've never been to Japan before, so that'll be a cool experience in itself. But I'm really looking forward to it. Just being around those kind of older guys, and especially with baseball in Australia, you play with a lot of older guys, and I feel like you mature a lot quicker when you're playing with older guys and being around better competition and stuff like that, as a human and as a player. So I'm really excited to go represent my country and play against sold out crowds, stuff I haven't done before.
Yeah, you have an opportunity to play in front of 30, 40,000 people now, plus the amount of eyeballs that'll be watching it worldwide on television. It's a different level, and to do it at such a young age, you got a lot to look forward to. We got the Olympics coming up in 2028 in Los Angeles, and then they turn around and have it in 2032 right down the road from where you grew up in Brisbane, and baseball's back in the Olympics as a gold medal sport. So, man, you got some great opportunities ahead of you, and if Australia... You know, what's cool about these tournaments, these high-level tournaments, when Australia does a good job, they get more funding from the federal government. So I'm pulling for you guys to win a medal of any kind. Just slide in there and get a bronze, and it's happened in the past. I mean, Australia's won a gold medal in the Intercontinental Cup, and they've won a silver medal in an Olympics. So it's not out of the question, and you could be a part of that, Max.
Yeah, no, I'll definitely chuck on the colors whenever I get the opportunity to do that. Like, for example, the end of the year, there's the under-23s World Cup in Nicaragua, I think it is. Like, any chance I'll get, I'll try and chuck on the jersey. And because baseball's pretty small in Australia, like, that's just what it is. Everyone plays cricket. But the more that we have success on the world stage and just even in, like, pro ball, the more it sort of get seen all over back home in Australia, and it does sort of, for kids at least, sort of like give them an opportunity, like, oh, this seems pretty cool, like a good sport. Aussies are doing good at it. It's getting more exposure. I want to play that instead of cricket, So, and that's all we really want as a country, to be able to get better on the world stage as well. Just growing the game. I think we just got more fun. We rejoined with AIS Sports, which is pretty cool. So they'll give us more funding and stuff like that. So yeah, the game is growing in Australia, which is cool to see.
This is Trent Durrington, former big leaguer, son of hopefully a future big leaguer, but Max, who's playing in the WBC here in a couple of weeks. Very fortunate. Big fan of the Sandlot podcast. And Dad, thanks for having me on, and go Australia.
My name is Max Durrington. I'm with the Athletics organisation and heading over to Team Australia, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
GYG has just reinvented the Caesar with our new Caesar salad, Caesar burrito, and Caesar Cali burrito. And I bet you didn't know that Caesar was created in Tijuana, Mexico over 100 years ago by Caesar Cardini. And now we have made the Caesar uniquely GYG.
Crunchy Cos lettuce, free-range grilled chicken, or gourmet Caesar dressing, shredded jack cheese, and GYG's corn chips crushed. GYG Caesar, created in Mexico, reinvented by GYG.
This spring, something beautiful is blooming in Carlsbad Village. Introducing Diego Austin Talavera, a new coastal shop celebrating handcrafted Mexican Talavera pottery, vibrant succulents, and curated gifts inspired by Baja and Southern California. From statement planners to one-of-a-kind home accents, every piece is chosen to bring color, culture, and sunshine into your space. Opening soon on Carlsbad Village Drive. Follow the journey and shop online at DiegoAustinTalavera.com. Diego Austin Talavera, where coastal California meets the art of Mexico. When it comes to building your dream pool, experience matters. For 33 years, Freestyle Pools Sydney has delivered quality pools that stand the test of time. Brothers Rob and Ben personally manage every job from start to finish, working closely with skilled, reliable tradies who take pride in their work. With regular industry award-winning builds, the quality of Freestyle Pools truly stands out. Experience, craftsmanship, and service you can trust. Freestyle Pools Sydney, built for life.
Hey everybody, this is Trevor Hoffman, a Hall of Famer and a San Diego Padre, and you're listening to The Sandlot.
Welcome back to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera. Right now we have more with Oakland Athletics professional player Max Durrington. Well, let's just hope that you guys do really good in this tournament and then again in the Olympics coming up and the funding comes and guys like Travis, who was the number one overall pick in the MLB draft, get to the big leagues, become everyday major league players. Someone like you who's in the minor leagues just getting started, charges through the minor leagues, get to the big leagues, become an everyday player. That's the kind of stuff that really makes a difference and makes a kid want to go out and play. The amount of money that Travis signed for, there's guys in AFL and rugby league that haven't made that in their career, and he got that just to sign, so it's something to think about too for the future of your family and security of your family, this sport.
Yeah, no, it's American sport in general is crazy with the money side of it, just because of all the fans and the amount of hype and how competitive it can be worldwide. So that is another really cool factor of the game in itself. And then also just the fact that, you get to travel overseas playing the sport you love. That's another factor. Instead of just playing at home, some guys do like that, but traveling the world.
Well, getting to see the world and having it paid for by somebody else is kind of cool too, because not everybody can just go on a trip to North America or to Japan. You have got to been able to put money away to pull that off. But when you represent your country, the country's footing the bill, and it makes it so you do go get to see another part of the world and kind of on a high level of travel too. It's not like they're going to, you're not going to be in a school bus as you travel places.
Yeah, exactly.
When I looked at the Aussie roster and I saw your name on it, and then I know a lot of the older guys, and I've had a lot of those older guys on the show, and I like the mix. I think it's a great mix of youth and experience. I think it's a great mix of guys at the highest, that have played at the highest level for Australia, that can share with the younger guys that still have the giddy up in their step to get it done. And I think you're going to be a great addition to that roster. You can come in and do some things that there's not too many other guys in Australia can do.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sort of excited just to be there, but any chance I get to get on the field, I'll definitely be doing my best for the team and the country. But it'll get to play with guys like the GOAT, Tim Kennelly, and stuff like that. And as I was saying before, pick their brains and sort of pick up on some of their mannerisms and stuff they do, which is why they are the GOATs. I think I've heard this could be the best team that we've had, but with the pro guys and stuff, and it is a little bit of an older team, but that can be a good thing with experience and a lot of guys returning for their second WBC. But I got a chance to play with a lot of them during the ABA.
Dingo, your manager, David Nielsen, happens to be one of the best baseball minds in Australia. And, I played against him, not just in Australia, but also in the U.S. in the minor leagues. And he was a real thinker of the game. And he also could hit at a different level. 1 year he hit 400 for the whole season in the minor leagues at like 3 different levels. That's just not.
Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah.
That's how
his baseball IQ is a different level.
It is, and that's an advantage for you guys because he's thinking 2-3 innings ahead, and he's got guys lined up to face the right guy. He knows how to match everyone up. He knows some strategies that a lot of other managers that are even in this tournament aren't going to know. I got a lot to hoping on you guys doing well based on youth and experience and the fact that you have him at the helm.
Yeah, no, the full team put together, the coaching staff and the players, I think we should have a pretty good run, especially after what they did last year the last WBC. I feel like the expectations are high and we're going to play our hearts out, and at the end of the day, it'll be what it'll be, but we should do pretty well, hopefully.
You did have a chance to play against older grown men in your young career in the ABL, because that's a league that's got some older guys in it as well. But like you said, it makes you grow up a lot quicker when you're not just playing against kids your age. You're playing against grown men, and the guys on your team are going to hold you accountable for things. And so being a bandit for 2 seasons, you've got a mixture of pro guys from America and maybe even Asia, and then you got the best in Australia. What was your 2 ABL seasons like, number 1 and number 2? Because the first one, you're a rookie.
Yeah, no, I had a blast both seasons. I feel like it's awesome to be able to come back and play winter ball, especially at my age, to be able to come back from pro ball and just keep playing and keep learning about the game. And because every time you play, there's something new always seems to happen. You think you know everything until you don't, and it's that's another reason why I love the sport. Like there's always things, and playing in the ABL is a great spot for that. Just with the veterans in the league that have been through it before, and just picking their brain is always great.
I know my first spring training was a real wake-up call, and like you said, you think you know until you find out you don't. And man, when I got to spring training my first time, I really didn't know. And you've been through one. Do you feel a little more comfortable in the second one? And because you know the routine, and you're a familiar face now. When you first got there wasn't a whole lot of Aussies running around that joint.
Yeah, no, I feel a lot more comfortable now that I know people and stuff like that. Injuries did help going before my first, but it was definitely like a shock where, things did speed up on me a little bit, where I felt like I was trying to do too much, and just I had an all right spring training, but it just feels like now that I've got a grasp on things and I know what it's like, I'm able to sort of not rush it in a sense and sort of go at my own pace. And I feel like playing in the ABL, I'm pretty much in mid-season form right now, and the work that I've put in, so hopefully I do have a pretty good spring training.
And that does make a big difference. A lot of guys don't play winter ball, so they come back in that first spring training at bat's the first one they've had in a while, and it gives you a huge advantage. And again, the work ethic, working through the winter. A lot of guys, American kids, they still got to have some kind of job, so it's limited in what they can do. They're certainly not playing games.
like a big thing, a misconception about spring training is like you're getting ready for the season and yada yada. But I feel like it's huge if you can hit the ground running in spring training, mid-season form, because the farm directors and stuff, they've already sort of picked the teams by week 1, week 2. Yeah, if that makes sense. Like, options are huge during spring training. Just to being able is a pretty big thing.
Now that you've been through one, you're in your second one. A big part of it, like you said, you slow the game down. You let the game come to you, because we are rushing a little bit. Everything we do, we kind of trying to do it a little too fast. We get ahead of ourselves in that first spring training. And once you settle in, it becomes a routine that you realize that you're developing and getting better every single day.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like some of the coaches here during spring training, they're from anywhere from the big league level to the rookie ball, like brand new coaches. So it is a cool experience to pick some of the brains of some of those guys. And then my infield at second base right now, and there's just some third base coach from last year. He's now helping in the minor league system, so he's helping me quite a lot of defense at the moment. Just trying to, like you said, more where it's just second nature.
Last year you ended up in Stockton. Do you have a good feeling that you might end up in that back there in the Cal League again this year, or is there a chance you might jump up to the highest level A ball for the Oakland A's this year?
Look, I don't know. No one really knows. I don't have a agent or anything at the moment, so there's no one really in the front office finding anything out. But I hope I end up back in Stockton just to start the year. I only spent 2 months there. It is a pretty good ballpark and a great league to learn from and just play at.
Yeah, and you got to keep your head down over there in Stockton, man. It's a little crazy. I know. I'm sure you live in a good part of the town, though, because there's some bad parts of the town in Stockton too.
Yeah, it is definitely different experience. That's another culture shock, Stockton. But you don't really go out too much there. But yeah, it is what it is. It's not.
You're listening to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. Don't go away. We have more from Max Durrington when we return. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera.
G'day guys, it's Michael Campbell of the Sydney Blue Sox. I'm a baseball lifer and you're listening to the Sandlot Radio.
This is Glenn Williams, former Major League player and current CEO of Baseball Australia, and you're listening to the Sandlot Radio Network.
Do you want more than just wins for your kids? Do you want confidence, character, and grit? At Grit Sports Collective, we help young athletes play with purpose and train with passion. With elite coaching in baseball and basketball, we're building more than skills, we're building competitors. Because greatness starts with mindset and is earned through sweat. Grit Sports Collective. Play fierce, train harder. Now enrolling in San Diego, California. Visit gritsportscollective.com and sign up today. When it comes to building your dream pool, experience matters. For 33 years, Freestyle Pools Sydney has delivered quality pools that stand the test of time. Brothers Rob and Ben personally manage every job from start to finish, working closely with skilled, reliable tradies who take pride in their work. With regular industry award-winning builds, the quality of Freestyle Pools truly stands out. Experience, craftsmanship, and service you can trust. Freestyle Pools Sydney, built for life.
GYG has just reinvented the Caesar with our new Caesar salad, Caesar burrito, and Caesar Cali burrito. And I bet you didn't know that Caesar was created in Tijuana, Mexico over 100 years ago by Caesar Cardini. And now we have made the Caesar uniquely GYG.
Crunchy Cos lettuce, free-range grilled chicken, or gourmet Caesar dressing, shredded jack cheese, and GYG's corn chips crushed. GYG Caesar, created in Mexico, reinvented by GYG.
This spring, something beautiful is blooming in Carlsbad Village. Introducing Diego Austin Talavera, a new coastal shop celebrating handcrafted Mexican Talavera pottery, vibrant succulents, and curated gifts inspired by Baja and Southern California. From statement planners to one-of-a-kind home accents, every piece is chosen to bring color, culture, and sunshine into your space. Opening soon on Carlsbad Village Drive. Follow the journey and shop online at DiegoAustinTalavera.com. Diego Austin Talavera, where coastal California meets the art of Mexico.
It was pretty much decided for me to play baseball when I was born.
The Sandlot's where it all starts, doesn't it?
I wasn't bigger than everybody. I just threw harder.
It doesn't take any talent to hustle.
If you don't pull for the Dodgers, there's a good chance you may not get into heaven.
Something happening here. What it is.
Welcome back to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. The Sandlot, it's where everybody plays. I'm your host, Tad Powers. The Sandlot is presented by Diego Austin Talavera. We're back with Max Durrington. Well, I got to tell you, though, being in California, it's more similar to the weather that you have than if you were in the Midwest League or some of the other leagues, the New York Pen. If you were in one of those leagues, there's even more culture shock involved because some of the places that you can go, life is different in those places.
Yeah, it is.
We're with Max Durrington. He's a professional baseball player in the Oakland Athletics organization, but he's also on the World Baseball Classic roster for the Australian national team. And Max, again, spring training, you're in Mesa, Arizona, aren't you?
Yes, that's correct.
Well, I spent 11 years with the Cubs in Mesa, Arizona. I think you guys might have taken over the old complex that we had at Fred Fitch Park and Ho-Ho Cam. And so I'm very familiar with where you're at right now, and that's not too bad a part of town.
No, Mesa's pretty good. I do like the Fitch Park facilities. They're awesome. The big league side's cool. I haven't been over there much, maybe once or twice to those facilities, but they seem pretty cool as well. But even though they're your guys' old facilities, they seem pretty brand new. They're awesome. It's a great field setup. Yeah.
All of it is, the clubhouses, the lunchrooms, the half fields, all the fields, the way they set up so that you can get to them quickly and they can be seen from the eye in the sky. It is a great setup, and the city of Mesa has always done a great job of maintaining it and keeping it at a major league level. What a difference it makes playing on those types of fields as opposed to some of the places you played in club baseball up there in Queensland.
Yeah. Well, the dirt is nice when it gets maintained every day and whatnot. But the Surface Paradise Baseball Club, which there's some old guys some, I should say, retired guys that are running it, and they've been running it for a while. Tony McPhail is the club president, but they do a great job. They're down there pretty much every day. So where I grew up wasn't too bad either.
You know what? In grass, there's a different kind of grass that grows here, and it might be a better playing surface than anywhere else in the world, to be honest. So if you do have a good club groundsman, because I had a great playing surface down here in Cronulla at the place called Tonkin Oval, which is no longer a baseball field, but anybody would have been happy to take ground balls off that surface. It was like close to putting green, but in between putting green and bowling, lawn bowls green and fairway. So it was that good.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's good to just the environment that you're in, that everybody's professional, the coaches, the staff, all the players. And then you got a variety of people from all over the world, especially in the Oakland organization. They're not afraid to sign guys from anywhere.
No, yeah, we got a bunch of guys. We got a couple guys that'll play in the WBC from Taiwan. A lot of the Latin American guys, the same as any other org. But yeah, it is pretty cool playing. You get to play every day with the best, and makes you better as a player as well.
And once this, you're going to go do the WCBC, then come back and have a little bit of spring training left. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
So that's when you really, like when you go to the second part of your spring training, when you're playing games every day and you're playing, I think it's 15 of the clubs are in Arizona. So you really get a good idea of what it's like at the different levels for each club.
Yeah, you do.
Like sometimes they usually have different levels at spring training, like the games that you play. But sometimes you even get to back up big league games, which is a pretty do as well. But maybe getting an at bat in some of those games is pretty cool experience. Just sort of like get a taste of what it's like, but it is.
So when Max Durrington was a little kid, was there a major league team that he liked, and was there a certain group of players or a player that you really admired when you were growing up?
When I was growing up, it would have to be, favorite team was Milwaukie Brewers, obviously with Dad playing a good part of his big league career with them. And I'd say favorite players growing up, I would say I watched Yelich a lot as a left-hand, and then because, Mike Trout's Trout, and then B. Byers.
That's great. And you had better exposure to the game and better access to being able to see it than your dad did when he came up as a kid. You were lucky if you saw a game. You've got great exposure, plus the fact that your dad was a major league player, one of only 38 Aussies in the history, and only, for me, 10 position players in the history have made it to the big leagues and been, guys. That's an incredible accomplishment. And knowing that tools that you have and seeing, reading scouting reports on you, all you got to do is do the work and stay healthy, bro. And you're going to be one of those guys too.
Yeah, thank you. Dad helped a lot throughout my younger years with, as you said earlier in the podcast, with coaching and stuff like that. He helped a lot in steering me in the right direction and how to play the game in the right way. So I owe a lot to him.
And he also passed on some good genes. So, yeah, and once you get there, that's when you can really show your appreciation. Now you just got to focus on the work.
Yeah, exactly.
He's Max Durrington. Not only is he a pro in America for Oakland, but he's on the World Baseball Classic team for Australia. Max, I want to thank you so much for being a guest on the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's good to share some knowledge with you.
Thanks for listening to the Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast. I'd like to thank today's guests on the Sandlot, our Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast champion character of the week from the Giants, Archie Sampson. We also had the son of last week's guest, former major leaguer Trent Durrington. We had current pro player and WBC representative this week. We had Max Durrington. I'd like to thank our Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast resident baseball fanatic and producer Nick Wright for giving us a rundown on spring training and the upcoming MLB season. Remember, you can listen to the latest Sandlot Radio Network Down Under podcast every weekend on Sirius XM Radio MLB Network podcast platform and on YouTube, Spotify, SoundCloud, Pandora, Apple Music, and Simplecast. Please explore the Sandlot Radio Network Facebook and Instagram pages for video content with the major league players. Also, check out our SandlotRadioNetwork.com website for photos and reels from our long history of covering everything from the Sandlot to the big leagues. The Sandlot has been presented by Diego Austin Talavera and sponsored by the Sandlot Radio Network, Grit Sports Collective, Guzman E. Gomez, GYG, the best Mexican in Australia, and Freestyle Pools Sydney, pools that withstand the test of time. The Sandlot. It's where everybody plays. It's a place of our own. It's our field. It's our neighborhood. It's our team. It's our home. I'm your host, Tad Powers.
Damn it! Who typed a question mark on the teleprompter? For the last time, anything you put on that prompter, Burgundy will read.
Is this heaven?
It's Iowa. Is there a heaven?
Oh, yeah. It's the place dreams come true.
Hey, Dad? You want to have a catch?
I'd like that.
This spring, something beautiful is blooming in Carlsbad Village. Introducing Diego Austin Talavera, a new coastal shop celebrating handcrafted Mexican Talavera pottery, vibrant succulents, and curated gifts inspired by Baja and Southern California. From statement planners to one-of-a-kind home accents, every piece is chosen to bring color, culture, and sunshine into your space. Opening soon on Carlsbad Village Drive. Follow the journey and shop online at DiegoAustinTalavera.com. Diego Austin Talavera, where coastal California meets the art of Mexico.
Do you want more than just wins for your kids? Do you want confidence, character, and grit? At Grit Sports Collective, we help young athletes play with purpose and train with passion. With elite coaching in baseball and basketball, we're building more than skills, we're building competitors. Because greatness starts with mindset and is earned through sweat. Grit Sports Collective. Play fierce, train harder. Now enrolling in San Diego, California. Visit gritsportscollective.com and sign up today.
GYG has just reinvented the Caesar with our new Caesar salad, Caesar burrito, and Caesar Cali burrito. And I bet you didn't know that Caesar was created in Tijuana, Mexico over 100 years ago by Caesar Cardini. And now we have made the Caesar uniquely GYG.
Crunchy Cos lettuce, free-range grilled chicken, or gourmet Caesar dressing, shredded jack cheese, and GYG's corn chips crushed. GYG Caesar, created in Mexico, reinvented by GYG.
When it comes to building your dream pool, experience matters. For 33 years, Freestyle Pools Sydney has delivered quality pools that stand the test of time. Brothers Rob and Ben personally manage every job from start to finish, working closely with skilled, reliable tradies who take pride in their work. With regular industry award-winning builds, the quality of Freestyle Pools truly stands out. Experience, craftsmanship, and service you can trust. Freestyle Pools Sydney, built for life.